I saw another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, thinking of about the same mistake. Darling, when you go away, it won't be as simple for you.
Didn't even add myself to the screen there. Yo, guys. Old Man G here, back again with another weekly Q&A. I'm exhausted actually. I'm actually really exhausted. But it was a really good got back home late, but it was a really good Super League game. Real Madrid doing what Real Madrid do. So we are a bit late. Usually it would be about 9:30-ish to 10 that I would sort of start. But we are a bit delayed for the week Q&A. So thank you for those who are tuning in. Remember, if you're new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, X. Smash that notification button for latest Manchester United news and more. So yeah, guys, thanks obviously so much. But by the way, guys, thank you for those who actually tuned into the Serie with the Rossonara TV guys last time. It was actually really I really enjoyed it, and we will probably be trying to do a lot more Serie themed content on the channel as well. So because, like I said, it was a very nice. I just had a lot of fun, to be honest, and also we are only a few subscribers away from 3.2k subs. So please, guys, it'd be really amazing if we get to 4k. Or even 5k subscribers by the end of the year. Really looking forward to it. Would be really good, actually. I'm hoping that some of the World Cup videos and stuff like that will push us there. So, but only you can. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Shout out to Samasi in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. Obviously, one of our members. Really appreciate your support, Samasi. Mo Waters in the chat. Big up, audience. Thank you so much. It was really good. Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. I am probably going to be on loan to Real Madrid with the way that Manchester United are. At this moment in time, I'm sorry. I am legit sorry. We'll see what happens against Brentford, but if we take an L to Brentford, it's peak. I'll put it out there. If United take an L to Brentford, it's gonna be peak. It's gonna be very peak. So yeah, let's just see what happens. Obviously, I'm starting off with you probably can see in the title Madrid versus Frankfurt, so probably reacting to the Super Cup game between Real Madrid and Frankfurt. I mean, first and foremost, what United doing? Rabiot, we will talk about that. We will talk about this is obviously the Q&A. So this is actually my favorite part of the week, actually. Just answering your questions. So please, if you have questions, get them in. I will be live. I will be answering them. So yeah, just get them in, basically. So, but my thoughts on the game first and foremost are there was a great game. Frankfurt had chances, but here's the thing, and it's weird. Like Real Madrid now. It's almost like they're predictable, but no one can kind of stop them. In that, in almost every game leading up to the Champions League final, Real Madrid, every single team, PSG, Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool, had their chances over and over and over and over and over again. And yet they weren't able to take them, to punish Real Madrid. And all Real Madrid is, you just give them a chance and they'll take it. And that's the key thing with Real, to be honest. So you have to kill off Real Madrid. And unfortunately, no team has been able to do that successfully. So that's the key thing with them. I see a question from Chainsaw. Favorite boys character? Now, I assume you mean the boys in the Amazon series, or from the comics? Because I've only really watched the Amazon series. I've not watched the the comic books. Read the comic books. So based on the character in the book, I would say. I mean, it's weird because like I love the actor who plays Homeland. He does a very, very good job. But I hate his character because I hate him. But I also don't particularly like a few of the other in quote good characters. To be honest, right now, I guess I would say that my I guess I would say that the I think that Kimiko and Frenchie. I love Frenchie. Yeah, I'll give that. I love Frenchie. Frenchie's my favorite character. Like Homeland, I love the actor who plays it, but like I just hate him because he's designed, he's written to be hated. But I actually like him as but the actor who plays him does a fantastic job. So I can't really hate. Make sure you like the vid, guys. Like the vid, it goes a long way. Sorry, my computer's being really, really slow today, which isn't really helpful. It's always slow. I need to get background music. Oh, you people want the background music, man. Let's put some background into it. Yeah, let's chill it out a bit. Let's see this one. Okay, I'll bring it down a little bit. Cool. There we go. What do people think about that? Hopefully that's cool. It's a bit of background actually, yeah. There's two tracks that I actually have that I could use. What chainsaw? Baines on second goal, a top goal scorer. Exactly. Only Ronaldo scored more. He probably won't catch up with Ronaldo, but still a good feat. I love Homeland. I think the actors, Anthony Starr, yeah. I'd like to see him in new work. I'm hearing some reports from the MCU, for example, that he's going to play Dracula, which would be quite interesting. Those are the reports that I'm hearing. Whether they're true or not, I don't know. But they're definitely interesting reports nonetheless. Why does Man United not go for Lionel Leipzig are not selling him to Bayern and Bayern to pay for any more for him? He has 1 year left in his contract. Samasi, it's because Manchester United are run by criminals who don't really understand football. It's just simple as that. Manchester United are run by crooks that don't actually understand Premier League football. If they did understand Premier League football, then they might do the things that you're talking about, but they don't. Simple as that. So I would love it if we weren't run by criminals, but it is what it is. Also, apologies for those who would not hit the notification for the Bundesliga preview. That is going to be tomorrow. I was just quite late with work today, so we will be doing that tomorrow. Basically, that's essentially what I'm saying. We'll be doing that tomorrow. So yeah, sorry about that. Christian, hello man. Hope you're doing, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Chainsaw, 324 goals for him. Ronaldo has 450 goals. Yeah, it's. I just can't see Benzema. Benzema would have to score. I mean, Benzema is. How old is Benzema actually? Remind me. Can someone remind me how old Karim Benzema is? If he's 30 and if he stays on till 37, then maybe he could do it. Because if he scores at least 20 to if he scores 20 a season, if he's 30 and he scores 20 a season until 37, he could do it as long as he stays at Real Madrid. But I'm not sure if that's going to be possible. and I don't think he's 30s. I think he must be in his early 30s. So we'll see. Juve wants to sell Rabiot to buy yeah, he's 30, 34, he's 35 this year. No chance. Unless he stays to Real Madrid till he's 40, which I don't think will happen. I think Benzema probably has maybe maximum 2 years. I think he'll get to Ronaldo's age and then he'll get to Ronaldo's age and then peter out. I think anyway. Does everyone like the background music, by the way? Let me know if you do, or if you want me to change it. Man United should hire me for recruitment. I do a better job. That would be great, Messi. Unfortunately, we're run by American private businessmen. That probably won't like it. Eddie, shouts Eddie, man. Hope you're doing well, buddy. And also, Eddie posted some really good waffle on his channel, actually. So please head over to Eddie's channel and check that waffle out. So if you're a United fan, it's pretty cool, actually. And depressing at the same time. It's like us going to design society. Yeah, I have a theory that United is actually, the people at United are secretly Liverpool fans. That's my sorry, I keep on moving this because I'm grabbing stuff. Yeah, I think they're secretly United fans, Liverpool fans. Sorry, secretly Liverpool fans. I'm dropping a like with my main account too. Thank you very much, Eddie. Really appreciate it. And question, this is a Q&A, guys. So please get the questions in. Also, welcome to all the new members as well. Member stream will be member stream should be member stream will be tomorrow. So make sure that you tune into the member stream tomorrow. It'll be great. We should be kicking off from around about between 9:30 to 10 o'clock. I'll give you the time tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. So welcome to all the members. Hopefully, I'll also be trying to record some member-only videos this weekend as well. I have a bit more time. And as we get closer and closer to the World Cup, what I'll be doing is I'll be pre-recording my doing like a team profile for every team for the World Cup. They'll be member-only originally, and then as the World Cup gets closer, they'll be obviously released to the public. So that's the plan anyway. Question, is your loan pre-agreed yet to go to Los Blancos Studios? Yes. So you see, Liga is starting this week. And United will I think are playing before Real Madrid. So what's going to happen is that depending on what happens in the Brentford game, the loan move will probably be agreed. Because if United gets spanked by Brentford, they're getting destroyed by Liverpool. So loan. So we're currently almost in the final phase, really, of the loan move to Real Madrid. So it is what it is. I want a lo-fi version. A lo-fi version. Bet if you can change it. Are you talking about the music? Let me see if I can change it up a bit. I think this one was. How about that? Or maybe it's a bit more chilled. Thanks for the plug, RDS man. No, don't worry about it. Mega says it's over United. No joke. Yeah. It is. I don't know what else to say really. It's unless, like I said, if we destroy, at the end of the day, I don't want to be overreactionary. Like, he does need time. But the key is that it's not Ten Hag per se. It's the board. They've not really given him the player that he wants. So it is what it is. But obviously, this is not just the Manchester United Q&A. So there's obviously a lot of things to talk about. We've briefly gone over the Madrid and Frankfurt game, and shout out to Real Madrid for winning that as well. The De Jong saga seems to be like flaring up all the time, man. I don't even know I don't know what's happening with De Jong. I'm hearing reports that he's going to go to Chelsea. He's not leaving. Like, I generally don't know what the De Jong situation is. I really don't know what it is. I don't. Frankfurt was the best one in the Juve. Exactly, Samasi. So to be honest, Frankfurt tried today. Frankfurt did try. They really, really did. And I think they probably do need to go into a transfer market if they're going to have a decent season, in my personal opinion. So how many years until United win a trophy, says Samasi? This question comes up a lot. And all I can really say is I hope less. But do I see this United team winning a domestic trophy? We're not going to win the Premier League. The greatest chance, to be honest, is actually winning the Europa League. Because even the domestic cups are too competitive now. Because all the big teams, Liverpool, City, etc., all of them, they want to go for it. So United's chance is probably the Europa League, and the Europa League itself is also getting more and more competitive. So everything is getting more and more competitive. There's nothing that's easy these days. Someone was saying Ancelotti's finished after Everton. Now he is first to win league title in top 5 leagues. Yes. First to win 4 CLs, and tonight first to win 4 UEFA. Exactly. That's a very good point, Para. They were saying that Ancelotti was washed, that he was a finished manager. Even United fans were saying, I wouldn't take Ancelotti at Manchester United. I wouldn't take him. Ancelotti, boo-hoo, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, you said the man right now is probably the greatest, league manager so far. He's won a Premier League. I think it was the Premier League with Chelsea. The Serie with it was Milan, I think. He won the Liga with PSG. Obviously won the La Liga with Real Madrid, and then won the Bundesliga with Bayern. For me, that's we're talking potentially GOAT status there. And people talking about Pep, but with Pep, it's more about like his football. But if you're talking about his accomplishments, Carlo Ancelotti has won more Champions Leagues. He's won a league in almost every single league he's been in. Okay, yes, he's arguably the best team in those leagues for 4 of them. Milan, okay. Milan and Chelsea, okay. But, he is what he is. So shout out to him. Adios, respect, man. Not like you're in a serious press conference. Oh, 10 hands keeps you from loaning. Bro, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Manchester United are in dire straits right now, so you just got to do what you could do. Yes, quickly. Super chat from Kickstash. Thank you very much, Kickstash. Really appreciate your ongoing support, buddy. I really, really do. Consider becoming a member, bro, as well, if you're interested. The music before is the Conference League theme. Which one? The one I had before? It really. That would definitely be interesting if that was true. So the Conference League theme is basically a washed Europa League theme. Yeah, I dare Manchester United to go into the Conference League. I don't even want, if United fall into the Conference League, I don't even want, even if we win it, I don't even want them to lift the trophy. If they're falling to conference in the bottom, they can't even be proud of something like that. Surely they can't. And that's big up RDS. Thank you. At 74, man. And we were doing, I think our Liga preview is Friday or tomorrow. I'll have to double check. I think it might be Friday. Yeah, I think it's Friday. So at 74 will be on for our Liga preview. Stay tuned for that, guys. Question: do you heard about this United guy trying to take over United? Thoughts? I've got to do a bit more research on him, to be honest, because anytime I hear consortium, I get worried. Hopefully, I guess in theory it can't be worse than the Glazers, but yeah, it'll be interesting. And the key thing is that, one, do the Glazers want to sell? That's the key thing. That, at the end of the day, Abramovich was forced to sell. He didn't want to sell. The Glazers don't have to sell the club. They have not put it up for sale. So first and foremost, that's the main thing. If the Glazers say, right, tomorrow we want to sell Manchester United, there's no problem. This is the key thing with the United fans. Is like, as soon as the Glazers have come decide we want to sell Manchester United, There will be plenty of this. Oh, there's not enough billionaires. No, there are going to be plenty of billionaires, plenty of people that will want to buy Manchester United. Absolutely. But the key is, do they want to put him up? Puts the club up for sale. That's the question. Samasi question says, which clubs have the best transfer windows so far? Now, this question comes up quite a bit. Sorry, maybe people can hear that fan. It's because it's quite warm in the UK right now. It's a tough one. Maybe I can do top 3. Barcelona have definitely got to be in there, assuming they actually register their players. If they don't register their players, they've had a terrible transfer window. If they do register their players somehow, then it will be Barcelona are definitely up there. I still think Spurs have had a good window. Bayern as well. Yeah, those three, I think. Where are we now? Here we go. RDS, what's your Halloween routine? I don't really celebrate Halloween, if I'm honest. I these days, like what I do now, because I'm obviously like the older, is that I go and usually if I get some kids, they'll knock and say trick or treat, and I will go and I've got some candy, as you call it, and I'll give it to the kids and maybe tell them a story or something like that. Because obviously, to be honest, I always go when I say trick or treat, I've always wanted to say trick and to see what they do, because most kids just assume you're going to give them sweets, and they don't understand the premise of the trick part. But then having said that, the trick part is usually eggs being thrown, so maybe best to avoid that. Ancelotti is an old school manager who gives the players the freedom to express themselves. That is true. He does do that. And Ancelotti's counter-attacks are kind of washed though, but props to his man management. I mean, that is true, but it's the Real Madrid DNA, I guess. I think it's the same thing that Zidane had. I think this is why I think it's Real Madrid. It surpasses, I think, the manager, in my personal opinion. I think that it's a combination of the philosophy at the club, the recruitment, as in the hierarchy, and obviously the managers. All those things combined, and obviously the players, make Real Madrid. This is why people say that you can run a club like a good business and still have a good footballing philosophy. Real Madrid don't make ridiculous spending purchases, so they're run like a business in a way. They sell. How much money did Don Perez, sell, Varane and obviously Ronaldo and so forth. I think he sold Cristiano for it definitely was 70 or something to Juve. So he got most of his money back that he paid initially. So there you go. Shout out to RDS, man. Hope you Chainsaw, man. Shout out to Chainsaw. I'm trying to RDS. Big love and remember to sub. Thank you, Chainsaw, man. Really appreciate the support. I still don't have time to edit our Marvel podcast. So hopefully, I think I should be finishing work hopefully tomorrow early. But yeah, there's just not enough hours in the day. I'm going to be trying to get up a lot earlier now so I can take advantage of all the hours. 6 a.m. starts are going to be the norm for me. So I'm hopefully not going to be streaming too late. So probably I'm going to be strict. Finish this stream latest, probably just after 11. And we'll see what happens. Antonio's in the chat saying, Forza Milan as always, man. I thought it was tomorrow. Let me just check. I had to push the Bayern Munich one back to tomorrow. Let me check. What time? Where was... Yeah, it is tomorrow, actually. Jeez, okay. What I might do is what we'll probably do is then I'll see if I can do it back to back. And so we'll do what we do, like a transfer stream. So the Bundesliga one will be first, and then that will go into the La Liga one. That's probably what I'll end up doing, probably half an hour each. Question: hold on, audience. You picked up Conference League when Joe's winning it, but it's crappy when United win it. Yes, it is. It is because Roma do not have the history, or like Roma have not won a European trophy ever. Roma do not have the financial backing that United do, and Roma are not expected really to win or come even close to challenging domestically. Although this season might be interesting, United winning it would be an insult, considering where United should be based on the investment that they've had, in my personal opinion. And yeah, subscribe to Ad74's channel, man. So big up to Ad74, man, as well. I do like promoting other YouTubers on here, so big up Ad74's channel. Head over to subscribe. So we'll look any more questions. PS5 or Xbox Series? I have not got either. I've still got my PS4. I am tempted to go down the PS5, but I'm actually trying to save up a bit of money actually. So I don't have the finances right now to get it. And also I just don't have the time. That's the thing. I don't really game anymore because there's just, especially as you get older, you realize that there's just not enough hours in the day. I just don't have that time really to invest in it. So when I have a little bit more free time, and hopefully that will come next year, I'll do it. Best signing United made in their history? No. It's got to be Ronaldo, isn't it? Sure. It's got to be Ronaldo from Sporting Lisbon. In terms of what he achieved at United and what he obviously went on to achieve, yeah, it's got to be Ronaldo. Yeah, it's got to be. Considering what he ended up achieving, it's got to be Ronaldo. I still believe that if Sir Alex Ferguson had not signed Ronaldo, Ronaldo would not be where he is today. He just wouldn't, because I don't think there'd be a manager or coach that really get that out of him, and two, the players around him had already achieved stuff. That's the key thing. He wasn't walking into United that were washed. The players around him had a certain level of expectation, which he obviously thrived off of, and he drove himself, Well, who is your pick for this year's UCL, says Paredes? My pick is Real Madrid. They got very good signings that address midfield. They will cruise La Liga, and in UCL they have mentality and they know how to win. I think Real Madrid are definitely a good shout again, especially with the midfield options that they have. They've got Valverde, they've got Casemiro. Valverde, they've got Camavinga, they've got Tchouaméni. They've definitely got depth. I think the only thing is attack, and you just hope. And if Benzema gets injured, that's still a bit of a worry. I think they still are quite reliant on him. But even the Benzema's fit, yeah, man, it's Real could do it. Liverpool, Liverpool. You can never underestimate Liverpool. PSG look good, so PSG are definitely there. So I think that depending on how the groups and how they put, the side of the draw, I'd say it's probably going to be, if we're going to talk like four, Real Madrid, Liverpool, PSG, and either Bayern Munich or Manchester City. Those would be my four in the CL. The console wars is dumb and both are good, but Series X is better with Game Pass. That's fair. What city would you rather win in, Tokyo or LA? Tokyo to visit, LA to live, I think. Yeah. I mean, it depends. If I had no money issues, like at all, like if I literally had no money issues and I didn't have to work, then definitely Tokyo. If I did have money issues, I had to work and conform, and all the rest of it than LA, I would say. Because I really do. I would love to visit Tokyo, but I think working in Japan sounds incredibly stressful, and adapting a lot of the customs as well might be quite challenging. As someone who's obviously lived in the UK for quite some time. Keep the questions coming in, guys. I'm loving it. I love these weekly Q&As, guys. Just if you have the questions, just keep them coming. Is there a routine that you do to give yourself the best energy to manage work and doing the streaming? I try. I'm not good with planning routines, which is to my detriment. What I try and do is I try and schedule a lot of my streams ahead of time, so that I know what I'm working towards, so it's not just sort of random. I think then I obviously know my weekly schedule. I'm off on Mondays, so a bit more free time. Tuesday will be generally 9 to 5, not always, because sometimes I have on calls or weekends, etc. So that throws things a little bit. In an ideal world, what I try and do is get up early, 6-7 o'clock. Make some breakfast, so do a bit of light reading, meditation, that type of stuff. Try and do some exercise in the morning, get ready, eat breakfast. If there's some early, United news, I might post. What I try and do now to engagement is try and do I'll be posting a short on the Shorts channel, and then obviously go to work, then come back. If I've not gone to the gym or done some workout before, I will do it after I come back. Have some food, and then usually the stream will be at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and I'll jump right into it. That's kind of my routine right now, give or take a few things. Shout out to EFAC man, hope you're doing well. Samasi says best World Cup. Best World Cup. I can only go based on what the World Cups that I've watched and that I can remember. So that would be 1998, 2002, 2006, 2010, 2014, and 2018. Those are the only ones that I can really remember. And so it'd be a toss between, for me, 98, 2010, and 2014. I think those would be the ones that I pick between. Who would be ideal to take up Glazer family in your opinion? Technically, the Saudi consortium group could afford to buy Manchester United as well. They probably won't, though. But I don't know. I don't know, really, if I'm honest. At this point, it's almost like someone who's not an American, but someone who's just not the Glazers. Yeah, I'd have to do more research, but someone who isn't the Glazers, essentially. Because the thing is, I don't necessarily believe that just because you run a club for profit doesn't mean you can't make good footballing decisions. The issue of Manchester United is that they've been run for profit. How we were bought on debt. So we're bought on debt, saddled with debt, and then even though, sorry, 2 seconds. Even though United, because the Glazers have spent a lot, even though they've spent a lot, they've not made sensible footballing decisions. So you just look at Real Madrid. You can make sensible footballing decisions and achieve and do on football. It's possible. Business, they're not mutually exclusive. So that's all we need. I think Man City or PSG will win it. People say this every year, though, Samasi. I think that there's a reason why Real Madrid have won the competition in the last 10 years. I think they must have won it at least It's 2022. So 2012. So in the last 10 years, Real Madrid have won it 3, 4, 5 times. I'm correct. So half of the, 5 for Real Madrid, 1 for Bayern, 1 for Liverpool, 1 for Barca, 1 for Chelsea. Who else is missing? Oh, sorry, 2 for Chelsea, actually. Yeah, 2 for Chelsea. So they won in 2012, didn't they? Yeah. So 5 for Madrid, 2 for Chelsea, 1 for Bayern, 1 for Barcelona, 1 for Bayern Munich. You know, you underestimate Real Madrid at their peril. City or no City, but you'd expect City and PSG to do better. You'd expect PSG to get farther than the round of 16 like they did last season. I mean, in fairness to PSG, they were there because they didn't win Liga. Now they won Liga. You'd expect them to get a decent draw. In pot 1. And to be honest, most of the pot 2 teams are not particularly difficult. I don't think they'll give PSG threats. I mean, Barcelona aren't going to give PSG a threat. The only pot 2 team that might give PSG a threat might be the likes of Chelsea or Liverpool, potentially. And even then, those are the only ones that could maybe challenge them on a good day. That's it. Sorry, I'm eating yogurt. Love it. Can Fulham stay up this season? They look decent versus Liverpool. Let's see after 10 games. Let's see after 10 games, because I always think that we need to be very careful judging how well a team does right there and then. I personally think, just because I remember when Norwich played quite well against Liverpool one season, they still went down. Because in order to stay up in a league, you have to have a good defense. If you concede goals, it doesn't matter how good you look or how you play. If you concede goals, you're going down. And the thing is, Fulham can play that way against Liverpool because Liverpool allow them to by the way they play, but they're not going to be able to play that against more defensively, structured teams. That's the problem with that type of football. It's great for teams that have better squads, depth, and are higher up. But long term, it's not good for teams that are lower down, because they'll, have injuries, and also they'll concede goals. And all you need to do is score a goal, put 10 men behind the ball, 3 points, game over. What is your worst footballing moment? So you mean in my career? I just remember just one time when I was playing 5-star football at uni, and I was unstoppable, man. I was scoring goal after goal after goal after goal after goal. As a 7, I just somehow got into positions, and the ball just stuck to my foot. It was like muscle memory, and every time it was brilliant. Loved it. It was brilliant. I don't think I've ever played it was almost like I played a perfect game. I don't think I've ever played a perfect game like that, before in 5-a-side. As for worst, oh man, I think anything in school, peak is definitely a thing. And if there's one thing I realized, is that my footballing peak, or prime as it were, was when I started my second degree, when I started medicine, when I was in my 3rd year. So when I was probably about 24, 25. So when I'm about 24, 25, that's when I started to really play proper football and play well. But before that, I was a brick. I couldn't, my glasses, I couldn't see, couldn't run. didn't know what I was doing, didn't have a touch, poor coordination. It was difficult for me. Man, life was tough growing up, man. Life was tough. And what's the one thing you can't live without? Family. To put that in a cliche way, family. Family and friends, man. Favorite drink, says Mo. As cliche as it is, water. Bottled, but water. Because that's the stuff that I drink the most. Like, occasionally I have Coke, and occasionally there's like lime and all these different sort of things. I know it's cheesy, but it can be flavored water, it can be bottled water, which is what I often go to. But yeah, the drink that I drink the most is basically flavored bottled water, if I'm honest. I try very much so now to avoid fizzy drinks. In fact, I would fruit juices. Fruit juice has a lot of sugar in it, but it's fine. But there's one advice you can take out is to avoid like fizzy drinks. Like they're not good for your teeth, or for your health for that matter. And as a doctor as well, drinking clear water is probably the best thing for hydration for your kidneys as well, in the long term anyway. Question: when was the moment United not a football club anymore? Samasi, United will always be a football club. Always. You got to understand, even in the 70s and 80s, they got relegated. And they still came back. So, because remember, we had our worst season last season for how many years? We still finished 6th in the league. Like, people are making it sound like they're United are completely done. Like, yeah, it was awful, but they still finished 6th. United's worst ever season was that they finished 6th, got knocked out of the round of 16 in the Champions League. That's the worst ever season. Everton finished 17th and almost got relegated. Even Chelsea's Mourinho, I think, was it, or under Di Matteo, one time they finished like 8th or something. Liverpool, enough said. So, if you look at where a lot of other rival teams were in their worst was a lot worse than United's. Liverpool's worst, Chelsea's worst, before they were where they are, were a lot worse than Manchester United's worst. If this is United's worst. One has to go, football and movies. Which one goes? Football. In fact, speaking of movies, I was actually going to watch Prey tonight, actually. I still might. I don't know. So depending on the time. But yeah. Movies, movies, TV and stuff like that. It's just something that and also just with people that you care about as well. It's just it's a nice bonding thing. Football is great, but it's only really with guys that are interested in playing football, in playing football. I assume you mean playing football, by the way. If you mean like watching football, that's a tough one. If you mean watching football, playing football, watching football, then it probably would be movies then. Yeah. If you mean watching football. So Jim Mackley, Richmond, UK, and Man United fan since childhood. Oh yeah, he could. He definitely could. He definitely could. He definitely could do it. Make sure you like the vid, guys, if you haven't already. It goes a long way. I should also use this as a community update thing as well. So check the general health of the channel. We are not too far away from 3.2k subscribers, so not that long left. Obviously still on Twitch, so if you are watching, please support your man on Twitch as well. Road to affiliation would be really, really good. And obviously the Shorts channel, Red Devil Studio Extra, which I've just started, so I'd appreciate your support on that, guys. Is there anything else on the channel that I should be thinking about? Oh yeah, fantasy football is still there. Fantasy football is still there, guys. So if you want to join the fantasy football league, I know the Premier League has started. If you'd like to still join, by all means, the link is in the community tab. So please join. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, for the members, obviously in the stream for the Q&A. If there's anything specific that you'd like to see more of, members wise, then feel free to let me know as well. That'd be good as well. And is there anything else? Oh yeah. I'm still possibly thinking whether I should pre-record my match previews, as opposed to doing them live from like a time-saving point of view. So if you think that I should if you'll still watch my videos pre-recorded, or does people prefer when I'm interacting and doing live streams? So pre-recorded pre-matches are time saver, but I appreciate the engagement might not be as high as if I do live streams, because I'm looking at my channel, I'm looking at it, and it looks like that I get more engagement going live than I do when I upload things. So yeah, just to bear that in mind. So I think that's all from the channel updates. There might be some more when I think about it. What are the top 5 stadiums in the world that you would like to visit, and what match would it be? For example, San Siro. Yeah, so I would say San Siro for the Milan derby, Camp Nou for the El Clasico, and same thing for the Bernabeu for El Clasico. I'd love to visit Dortmund for the El Clasica, and then so that's 4. Where else do I want to go? I don't want to pick an England stadium because I don't really care about France either. I'd love to visit Galatasaray. Well, actually, no, I say I'd love to. It's gonna be. It'll be mad. It'll be mad. That's a tough one, actually. What's the 5th one? Top 5. Yeah, maybe I'll give it to Bayern. Maybe the Allianz Arena in Germany. As long as United are there and Solskjaer scores a last-minute goal, then I'm definitely there for 5th. There you go. Artists, what will your beliefs be if a UFO abducted you? How will you convince people it was real? I mean, you have smartphones now, so it'll be that. Like, you literally have. People might say, "Oh, we have smartphones now." So I think that if you have smartphones, unless they somehow took the smartphone technology away and it didn't work, I don't know why the smartphones wouldn't work in space if they're abducting you, wherever they are. Yeah, this is also assuming that the life is intelligent. So, because what I do believe in that, that there could be life out there. I don't necessarily think the life will necessarily be intelligent. It could be, it might not be. So oftentimes when people describe aliens, they often describe intelligent life. It's always intelligent life. But there's never a grounds for the fact that it just could be not intelligent. Still life, but not intelligent. Now, PSG Rabiot, I saw them last season when for a front three didn't defend or Man City destroyed them. Too many egos, player parts of Liverpool much better team. I mean, Liverpool are a much better team, but I think the difference is this season is the coach. That's the key thing for me. For when it comes to PSG this season, it is literally their coach. I respect Gates a lot, especially for what he did with Leo winning the league. And I know there's just something about me that just thinks that I think this might be an important season for them. If they can't do it with this Gator guy, and I don't know who else they can do it with. I really don't. Maybe Zidane. It might be one of those things where Zidane needs to come in and sort out their egos. Maybe. I say I don't know. I remember thinking I scored a free kick and started celebrating when the goalkeeper someone saved it, and I was so embarrassed. Of course, Chainsaw. Of course. Prayer is good. Yeah, I need to watch it. I hear a lot of good things about it actually. RDS, if given creative freedom, what will your perfect movie series be? I would love. I would love a. Sorry about that. Looking at myself on the TV screen and how old I am. What would I love? What would I do? I'm just trying to think. What would I do? I definitely would like action. Obviously, it's action adventure and stuff. I've always liked the idea of dystopian futures and time travel and stuff. So it would be something around that, like a dystopian time traveling situation, but with almost like a constant like threat, if that makes any sense. Like not just one of those like, oh yeah, they go back in time and it's all that type of thing. I mean like there's a constant like threat of the future of the main antagonist being stronger, being able to overcome that type of thing, and having to think of different ways to defeat this sort of like future antagonist type of thing. I don't know if that makes any sense. So I mean, a better question would be like, what storylines of existing series would you like to see more of? I could definitely answer that. Movies over football. How dare you blaspheme against football? Like I said, it's playing football. If it's watching football, it's a lot different. But if it's playing football, then yeah, like just because I think you do, in my opinion, it's about a lot of it is about who you spend the time with, and I just think, and football is a social activity. But it's a limited social activity in the sense that it's got to be people who are interested in football, whereas more people are interested in movies, So at least that's my logic anyway. Previews, pre-record, I think is better, says Adas 3. Live reviews may be better. Yeah, that's the thing. So maybe I might start doing that. You'll see. Because what I probably will do is maybe pre-record my Brentford preview, see how it does view-wise and like-wise. If it can support it, what I'll do is I'll just pre-record them, but I'll just schedule them. Because sometimes I want to like actually just engage with you guys like in the comments as opposed to just being here. I actually like watching. Sometimes I like watching myself and my mannerisms like on the screen and seeing you guys are involved and what your thoughts are. So I might actually just pre-record some stuff, maybe 20-30 minutes, something like that, for previews and stuff, schedule them, and then that will save me time, certainly for the previews, and not just United previews, by the way. I want to be doing more non-Manchester United content, so El Clasico, Serie, etc. So if you could support the pre-recorded lives and obviously give me advice, that would be very much appreciated. I hate editing a lot. So a lot of them, the pre-record were literally my live, raw, initial thoughts with the ums and ahs, etc. So there's very little editing aside from the beginning and the end and anything that's just sort of weird. Question: what position do you play in football? Which United player, password, would you say you are most like? Oh, that's a good question, Eddie. I would say that I'm an all-rounder. I'm a team player. I do what the team needs me to do. So sometimes I love being in goal. Sometimes I love being in the back, being a defender. Sometimes I like being off the wing. Sometimes I like being up top. I don't really like being in the middle as a central midfielder. There's something weird. Like I think my peripheral vision is not good. It's very not good. So being in the middle and the center is just I can't really navigate in that. But being on the wing, being up top, and in defense and goalkeeper, yeah, it's fine. So in that case, an all-rounder type player. So almost like I say like a Park Ji-sung almost. That utility player that just was an unsung hero. I think that's kind of the player that I represent the most, really. I don't have a specific I'm amazing at this, amazing at that, but just overall, do the thing for the team, Which team you think wins La Liga NOS? Let me think. I'm gonna quick Google. Porto, Benfica, or Sporting? Benfica. Don't ask me why. Benfica. Do you think time travel will ever be real? I hope so. There are a lot of things I'd like to correct, but the amount of paradoxes would be insane. And also, if it could ever happen, wouldn't it have already happened? Unless you believe in linear time theory. That's the thing. It's weird. Depends on what theory you believe in, really. If you believe in linear time theory, where where I know for example the MCU is based off on, whereby if you so the DCU, for example, just fun fact, the DC universe. There we go. The DC universe doesn't actually really utilize time travel a lot, aside from a few instances. Whereas Marvel does, and what Marvel does is because they believe in linear time theory, which is that anytime someone goes back in time, the main timeline actually stays the same. But what they call it linear branch time theory, where it goes into different branches. So you change something in the past doesn't affect the main timeline. All it does is create a branched reality. So if time travel does exist, for me, it has to exist in that concept. Because if it did exist, then we would have known about it by now, presumably. Whereas I think if it does, what probably has happened is that the person or people who have gone back in time have created multiple different alternative timelines that don't basically cross-sect with each other. So there is a me in another timeline that isn't, a doctor, for example, because maybe a future me has gone back in time and made it so that at a point in time made it so that I don't do that, but is now based on that decision has created an alternate timeline which I'm not aware of. That's my sort of long explanation of time travel. Isn't that the Terminator plot? Based on my thing. Yeah, sort of, but I'd make it better. What's your vid plan tomorrow? Members Hangout. Yeah, Members Hangout is tomorrow. Members Hangout will be from 10 o'clock tomorrow. I think what I'll do, because I'm going to be doing a lot of streaming tomorrow, so I'll probably start earlier. So what I'll probably do is that I will we'll do a half an hour Serie preview. So that'll be I'll probably change the time. That'll be from 8 o'clock. Then we will do the Bundesliga preview. The Bundesliga preview 8 o'clock. Then Serie Bundesliga, then La Liga, and then a bit of a break, and then 9:30 we'll do the members hangout. That's the plan anyway. I think. I usually play footballs on Thursdays, but I don't think I'm going to be able to this week because for obvious reasons, so I should give it a bit more time. Can I help you with the Liverpool versus United preview? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Chainsaw. I'm not sure. No, of course I'd love to have you on, but I think it'd be unbearable. That's the problem. Most underrated player of United. Do you mean of all time or do you mean currently? if you mean of all time, that's a difficult one. I can only go based on the teams that I've seen, but I probably would say Michael Carrick of recent years. Recently, Michael Carrick. Of the current squad, I would say what would I say? I would say who's the most underrated player in the current squad? They're all bad, so it's difficult. It's actually difficult. They're all so bad, really bad. Fred, let's put Fred in there. Thoughts on the current recession? It depends on where you live, bro. My advice to any young man is especially if you're in your late teens, early 20s, is to not, like, the thing of a young man is that there's a lot to distract you, video games, women, all these different things. But to be honest, like, the best thing to do is especially for me, if I could do it again, I'd be like, just focus on building your career, building your finances, building, because then when you get into your 30s and then later on, you've got a good foundation set for life. I'm not saying that it's over and above that in your first one. I'm not saying that. So, but I just think that the world is very, very volatile, and you have to almost shut out that reality and focus on yourself, and then everything else will come. So that's kind of tied to the sort of the recession thing. The people that I know that are shielded from it, the people that have planned, and are in decent, sustainable jobs. I think that, and also I think there's also as well that, like, you obviously have the issue with Ukraine and Russia and stuff like that's caused problems. They're out of COVID, so we were obviously going to be in a recession because of the money owed from the bailouts and the war and all the rest of it. So, but those things are temporary. So it's not going to be a recession for long. I don't think. That doesn't mean that that you shouldn't plan, if that makes any sense. Park G Studios. Well, I do want to do a G Song Park versus Son Heung-min video versus. I do want to do that. Maybe that might be. There you go, Chainsaw. Maybe we should definitely record that. That would be a schedule. I think I might schedule the versus videos. That's something I might do. If anyone wants to get involved in versus, and then definitely let me know. Members have priority when it comes to versus debates as well, by the way. So we should definitely do that. The current economic crisis is worrying, but we'll be fine. Yeah, exactly. What's right? Yeah, Leo, Chelsea best about getting red card. I might do that actually. I might have a Liverpool versus United stream with Factos on it. Factos is quickly becoming a legend on this channel, as well as Chainsaw and the gang. So for being overkill, like, you have to have a. In fact, what I might do is I still need to do that. But Chainsaw's not an Arsenal fan, man. I need to get Don Smoke will be, so it's 100 points versus treble versus Invincibles. I need a very, very passionate Arsenal fan. I don't have that yet. I need a very, very passionate Arsenal fan. If I have that, then I can finally do that debate between the Invincibles treble winners and the Invincibles treble winners and 100-point City team. That's it. Late night walk or late night cycle, late night walk or jog, in my personal opinion. So, but I think early ideally is better. for some reason when I get older, if I exercise too late, it's harder for me to sleep. It didn't used to be like that way. When in my 20s, I could like exercise, go to the gym 9 o'clock, and then I'd be like, or play football late and be like, and then have a nice sleep. Whereas now, it's weird. It messes up with my sleep. It's almost like my body's like still like alert, and so when I exercise, I end up having like less sleep, like maybe 4-6 hours. But I'm not as tired, which is good. So that's the point of exercise. Fact also makes it even close. QA, any prediction for Liverpool versus Man U score already? For me, it's very much dependent on what happens to Manchester United against Brentford this weekend. If Manchester United lose to Brentford, it could actually be 7. If Manchester United lose to Brentford, it could be 7. It could. I'm not sure, but it could be 7. It could actually be 7 if Manchester United lose to Brentford. It could. Women/men distraction. Having a partner helps a lot in difficult times. Agreed, you have to focus on yourself growing. If again, it's planning. I think that if you like, yes, like if it's kind of like planned, if that makes sense. By that I mean like back in the day, like there wasn't all this like online dating and like going on multiple dates and people just sleeping around for the sake of, so a lot of emotion and stuff like that. So whereas I think if it's planned, it's like you meet someone, you support each other, you're on the same page, you've got the same life goals and that type of thing, then that's very, very good. That's even better than being alone. Absolutely, I agree. But I think in this kind of modern sort of site of dating, a lot of dating culture is quite toxic, a lot of expectation or unexpectation or whatever, and a lot of baggage often that comes sort of with that, so which you don't really need. And that can be a distraction, especially if you've not been successful in dating or all the rest of it. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like if it's getting to the point where like it's distracting you from your own growth, especially from a financial point of view, because even for the guys, men who and I only took my personal experience that did find the one earlier on, they are still somewhat behind financially because they've taken more responsibility earlier on, and they're finding it a bit hard if they haven't at least got their finances, or not good with finances, sorted out earlier on. Some are just naturally good with money and finances, so they're okay, but others are not, and it's causing problems. So I think, from my personal opinion, I think that a dude shouldn't get married before he's 30 and has his finances in order, because I think that those are important things going forward. Most people do not have enough money. Most people aren't thinking about retirement, long-term savings, etc. And one of the worries I think of society going forward is that you're going to have a lot of people in their 50s being like, crap, I need to save. Unless you're paying into like a nice pension pot. I work with the NHS. A good chunk of my salary a month goes into a pension. So there's that. But for a lot of people, probably they don't have that. So these are things I think you've got to think about. And in an ideal world, I actually believe that financial education should be mandatory in all schools. What does your national insurance number mean? Like what is tax? What is national insurance? What is what are the best things for pension? All these different things I think are important, and should be important skills taught to kids. They don't teach them to kids, and the reason why they don't teach them to kids is because they don't want people to be successful with their finances. They want people to spend money and always spend money. That's why they will always bring in everything, advertisement. Yes, spend money, do this, spend. But they'll never actually teach people to be fiscally responsible with their money. That's interesting. Gold members are the best. Yes, they are. Gold members are definitely the best. One-on-one streams, man. Just become a gold member if you haven't already. Oh, man. Lee from Culture would be perfect. Is he an Arsenal fan? Shout out to Rich Sportsman. Head over and support Rich if you haven't already, guys. Please do. Rich says cycle. I need to get back into cycling. Actually, I've not cycled for a long time, since I've been a kid, really. So I guess I prefer weight training. And if I'm going to cycle, probably be at the gym. Where are we? RDS. I didn't get to shout out to SMB. I didn't get to Super Cup. However, it was very good. It was very, very good. Frankfurt really gave it their all. But they were never going to stand a chance to get Madrid. They had their chances, but in typical Madrid fashion, if you don't take your chances, Madrid will make you pay for it. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm just looking at my tabs. If I covered some of these, covered Madrid, Benzema. I mean, just thoughts in the chat about Jong and Rabiot, man. Because it looks like United are serious about signing Rabiot. It's just the wages, which worries me a lot. It really worries me because, there's mine. It won't be okay, but the wages, and the wages are being negotiated by his mother, who obviously wants him to get the most. And it's like, what are we promising to pay this guy? Because he shouldn't be on any more than 200k. Because we're gonna pay a transfer fee. Okay, we're gonna pay a transfer fee, and he shouldn't be on any more than 200k. He should not be on any more than 200k because he's 27. He might give United 2 or 3 years, if that. I think he's washed personally, but people say it's better than McFred. But for me, McFred at least have better attitudes. Rabiot could be a very disruptive influence in the United dressing room personally. So I don't know whether it's worth the risk personally, but we'll see what happens. The Brentford press will do that. Exactly. If the Brentford press destroys Manchester United, what hope do you have against Liverpool? I think Benzema is on the Real Madrid Mountain Rushmore. Exactly. Shout out for Benzema getting Ballon d'Or, man. Benzema has to get the Ballon d'Or. Benzema has to get the Ballon d'Or. Benzema doesn't get the Ballon d'Or. I don't know what the point is. He has to get the Ballon d'Or. He has to. He has to. There's no doubt about that. He has to. Right, I'll take a few more questions, guys, and then we're gonna round up the next five minutes. Rich, again, weren't we talking like this after the past opener a couple of years ago? We have a much worse squad now. Is this in reference to whether we'll be back? United will be back. Yeah, the squad is worse. The only thing that's changed is really the manager is better. But yeah, Rich. I'll be coming. I hope you'll be coming onto the stream a bit more this season as well. Actually, so when I'm not doing my live post matches, I'll try and come on as well. So I missed the banter. Although of course I'll be on loan to Madrid. Now, RDS, what do you think of Andrew? Oh man, I'm going to keep this brief in case I get clipped. He's an interesting character, and I'll leave it at that. Take care, Eddie man. Hope you're doing well. I'm off, folks. Have a good night, RDS and Co. Thank you, Eddie man. Make sure you head over and subscribe to Eddie Football's Waffle Man. Make sure you head over and subscribe. No one's saying good night today. That's good. You are right about being financially sound in life. I grew up in a lower income, rough neighborhood, and I heard a lot of regret from all the people in that area. Yeah. we live in a very, very, very what's the word, instant gratification culture and time, and I think that's by design. You look at advertisements, everything around Instagram and so on. Buy this, do that, etc., etc. That is a big thing. Capitalism or social, whatever. Like they don't want people to be financially independent. They want people to be financially dependent. So even when people say, "Oh, why are we giving out benefits? Why are we giving out benefits and all the rest of it?" We're giving out benefit because that money is going back into the system. And by system I mean, corporations, etc. So it's just all benefit is to people, for example, is just money to further stimulate the economy. So that's how, at least how I understand it, capitalism works. So if people are more conservative with their finances and don't spend a lot of money, then we have problems with recession and all the rest of it. So the point I'm trying to make is the system is designed to get people to spend as much and not to save, unless like you're really, really rich, or have a lot of inheritance. So for me, especially for young men, where there's a lot of pressure to be the best version, have the great body, have the good car, have the good money, have all those things. For me, I think it's important that at an early age you install, and it's weird, like it's weird, the art of stoicism, because you're often drawn by friends and people drinking. Like, here's some life advice, guys. Just for those who are watching. Because I do like giving, and I might create a separate channel where maybe give my own thoughts on life and life advice and stuff like that as well. Let me know if you subscribe to that. I've created how many channels now, but I just like interacting with people. So, but here's a bit of life advice we would say was that, listen, if in order for you to succeed in life, a part of you does need to almost go against the culture, go against your circumstances. And this is true almost every stage of life, especially for young men, more so for young men, I would say. And if we're talking teens, it's like avoiding, like I would say, avoiding drinks and drugs, alcohol. Just cut that out. Don't have that. Have a strict discipline when it comes to your health. That's mental and physical. So not constantly like spending hours in video games. Having an acknowledgement of your time. What is your time going towards? What are you building? I'm not saying that playing video games, watching stuff is fine, but your time should go towards something that you can build, that you can see the dividends of going in the future, assuming that you're gifted health. As far as obviously dating concerned, I just think that my personal opinion is that I just don't see the point in engaging in unnecessary, relationships. I think that at the end of the day, it will bring you and the other person baggage and trauma as it would, so at which you can needlessly avoid by focusing on actually bettering yourself as a person, and therefore bringing the right person into your life that is obviously going to strengthen you in the end, if that makes any sense, And then also, and the last thing is, just don't be afraid to fail. I think one of the other things about our culture is that we are we definitely have a society where people, especially our generation, millennials, are afraid to fail. We are so afraid to fail. We've got to be succeed because we're constantly bombarded with images all the time of this person did it at this level, and this person. If you're not this person, they're more blah 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 blah. Nah. Failure, to be honest, is a better life lesson than success, because when you fail at something, you can and the process of learning why you failed, you can improve physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever. if you succeed all the time, or if you have constant perceived success, I don't necessarily think you grow as an individual. And I think a lot of people have had like almost like a life handed to them earlier on, and got what they wanted, often struggle later. I mean, just look at child celebrities and just see how, messed up their lives sort of become as they get older. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. That's my mini life rant to you guys. DM him. I need to get him on. RDS, what sports do you play? Right now, football and gym. Those are my two sports. Football and gym. Jong ain't coming. I don't think he is. I think that if we're going back to the Frank, I don't think he is. Not to United anyway, which is why the Rabiot thing seems to be building some momentum. Also, Bundesliga, Serie and the Liga. I'll say it right now. I think AC Milan will win the Serie A. I think Real Madrid will win La Liga, and I think that Bayern Munich will win the Bundesliga. Those are my definitive predictions. I think FDG will come to Chelsea. Yeah, it's going to be annoying if he does go, though. It will be. Do you like rival fans more now? Well, to be honest, a lot of the supporters of this channel and members are not United fans. A lot of the members, a lot of the supporters of the channel are not Manchester United fans. So I'm a football fan first, more than anything. I banter people about United on other channels, but on this channel, even though it is a in quote United channel, I am a football fan first. But that's why you'll see World Cup coverage and not just United coverage. Although I do cover a lot more United content, but I'm trying to expand. So, and like I said, I will hopefully be getting maybe a few different people involved in the channel. I'm still wanting to. So if you're wanting to be involved in the channel, do solo stuff, please let me know. Esmin, has Barca reached their players? Yeah, I heard Real Betis is doing selling the financial levers thing as well. That's not good if you are a small club IMO. Yeah, can someone explain this lever situation for me? Because my understanding of the lever situation, my understanding of the lever situation is that they're selling stuff now. So they're selling future stuff to get money now. That's my understanding of the lever system. So things down the line to get money now, which I never think is a good idea, especially if like a recession or something bad happens. Like if a COVID lockdown of some sort happens again, then Barcelona is screwed. So I think it's a dangerous precedent to set personally. But there you go. Andrew, that's what Mecca says. Fair enough. Tate is a dangerous character. So different opinions. There you go. Andrew Tate is mostly right. Tate is a dangerous character for vulnerable young men. Good luck. Force Milan, good luck with the stream. You have my like. Thank you, buddy, man. Thanks. Index I used to support people getting bullied, especially new students. Mental isn't promoted to public schools. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I never have taken any drinks or taken any drugs. While yes, the culture peer pressure gets the majority. This is a deep topic, can't lie. Yeah. I mean, this is what I'm saying is that like, young, it's at the end of the day, the root of a lot of this stuff always comes down to the fact that human beings obviously want to fit in. We always want to fit in. And that pressure is definitely there as you're younger. The more older I get, the less I care about that. I think that's one of the benefits of being older, is that you care less about what people think, especially when you have I think I had a fourth thing I think to that is that as a young man, you should daily practice gratitude. I would journal it as well, actually. Journal every day, before you go to bed or when you get up. journal things that you're thankful for. I generally believe if people did that every day, people would be less angry, less upset. No gender war or whatever wars or whatever people think they're angry about tomorrow. Instead of going straight to Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or the news or whatever, if you just spend some time, set aside the day to just be thankful and journal in a sort of gratitude with something that you'd be thankful, I think people will be a lot more positive, because they'll actually realize that they actually have a lot more than they think they do when they actually sit down and realize what they have. Whether that's family, whether that's good friends, career, financial stability, health, which as a doctor for me is the most important thing. I don't care what you have. The most important thing for me, I think, in my opinion, in life is good health and time, because you're not always guaranteed health, and you can't get back time. Everything else can be got in a sense, even family to a certain extent. So you can create your own family, or you can adopt all these different sort of things. But health, it deteriorates over time, and time, you can't get it back. That's my personal, that's my two cents. There's a lot of people talking about Andrew Tate. So I don't want to get deleted on this channel, so I'm probably going to highlight the Andrew Tate comments. But SMB has a good point. He does say, "This is my problem. A lot of these other groups on internet. What benefits you may not benefit society as in long run." Yeah, I mean, to be honest, SMB, it's not even just self-help groups. I think people in general these days are selfish. At the end of the day, people always thinking about the next generation, about mentoring the people behind them, and giving to the next and preparing for the next. I'd make the argument, I don't want to get too deep, that it kind of all started, if we're talking recent history, from the baby boomers, because they end up not having as many children as they want. They focus on themselves, a lot of stuff, and it sort of trickled sort of down. That's my theory anyway. So, but yeah, there's not a lot of, again, our design of a society is that it's not future driven. It's now driven. It's, what's the benefit now? What's going to happen to us now? We need to fix what's going on now, not the future. So, for example, one of the things that I as a doctor, I'm concerned about from the future is that our elderly population. We have a very, very low. This is globally. We have a very, very low birth rate, but people are living longer and longer and longer, and some are living healthier, but a lot of others are not. And we don't have the labor to actually look after those people. And our society, certainly Western society, isn't designed to look after the elderly in a long-term capacity, whether that's pensions, whether that's just like care work, etc. It's not there, and no one really talks about that. No one talks about that at all. It's just, yeah, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be okay. I look at it, I work with it, like it's actually scary the way that a lot of elder people right now are in care homes and stuff like that. They just can't cope. So when you realize that the average age of this nation, I think is right now, is 40, 45, mid 40s, and that's going to go up in the next 10 years to 50, early 50s. If the average person in the UK is close to retirement, what does that tell you? So for me, that's the biggest problem. That's why all this hoo-ha that people going on in Russia and all these different things and trying stuff like that. Every nation on the planet, every country is dealing with the issue of an increasingly older population, because people are living longer everywhere. So, but it's been accelerated in places that are more developed and also have low immigration. So, like Japan and Korea, for example. who are going to have it really, really bad soon. At least that's my personal opinion. Let's have a look. We're still doing a Q&A, by the way, just to get anyone any questions. TikTok is dangerous, RGS. Yeah, I only. This is the thing with me in social media. I don't have Facebook. I don't even really use Instagram. The only reason I set up this stuff is to promote the channel. If I didn't have this channel, I wouldn't be on Twitter. You know, I think I joined Twitter very late. I wasn't on it. I only joined Twitter because of this channel, to promote the channel. That's it, and for contact purposes. Facebook, likewise. Instagram, I don't even use it instant, but likewise. TikTok, same. If I legit, if I didn't have, the only thing that I use social is WhatsApp and YouTube regularly. If I didn't have this channel, I wouldn't be on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. Like, it's just, for me, it's just not necessary. It just really isn't. I've never felt the need to take pictures and share them with everybody, because I want to share the moment with the people that I'm in that moment. I might take pictures and look back at memories because it's important, but I also think you should live in the moment instead of just wanting to catch moments. Let's look. Questions. RDS, do you believe in the population collapse theory? I'm not entirely sure what that's based on. Are you saying that it's like it's planned or something? No, I wouldn't say that it's, if it's the whole kind of, it's planned and the corporates and the Illuminati. No, I don't. I just think it's simple life decisions. At the end of the day, like, since the beginning of the 21st century, with the introduction of penicillin, obviously widespread clean water, the internet, the quality of food and the amount of food that's available, etc. People are just living longer. It's just a natural, over the last 100, years, life expectancy has gone up tremendously. The problem is just that our societies are not designed for elderly people. They're not. So that's what we need to take into account. So because for thousands of years, the life expectancy has not been that high. So our societies are built or designed for people that are not, are not old. And so that's the challenge. And that's a challenge, and it's not an impossible challenge, but it's a challenge that I think that people need to at least start to begin to think about. And that's why I always say, certainly for young men getting older, getting your finances right, doing all those things, actually not squandering you, investing, doing all these things, because at least then, and I think the benefit that maybe the millennials and other generations have compared to maybe the slightly older ones is that they have the benefit of the internet. So this information is now out for you. So you can go to YouTube and say, listen, you know what? If I want to plan my finances, I can do that. I can go and be a millionaire. I can try and investments, etc., etc., etc. And I can plan ahead so that when I'm 50, I'm in a better situation, so I can look after myself in retirement, in old age, etc., etc. I don't have to stay in the country. I could go to, Vietnam, something like that, as opposed to just wasting. No, I won't say wasting a life. I don't think any life is a waste, but just, I think that at the end of the day, there's wisdom in having a plan, and not just coasting through life. And I think a lot of people, men and women, coast without any real kind of plan, assuming that there's always going to be that sort of it's going to be fine. It's only Western culture, though. I assume that's been referred to the take conversation. I think in culture, if you go to certain countries, people live with their parents and put their immigrant visas later in life. It will be interesting next 10, 15 years. I mean, people are living with their parents now in the UK. It's frowned upon. Bank of mum and dad and all that. But people living with their parents right now, they are. It's like I said, it's just frowned upon in the West, but people are. And yeah, I think that, like I said, make sensible decisions. If people live with their parents so they can save money to invest in property, buy a house, etc. All the power to them. That makes a lot more sense than putting the money into paying rent so that you can live independently, even though you're giving money to somebody else to pay off their mortgage. Like, if I could take that back again, I'd be like, the only reason I had to is because I lived away from home. If I could study, if both of my degrees were were close to home, I wouldn't have moved out. I'd have just taken the maintenance and loan money and I would have invested it into some like property. Like, I would have taken it and been like, right, I'm taking this money, and then putting it into like a house or something. See, this is what I like. I like this. I like this. This is why I love this community, because people can have different opinions about something, and that's one thing that I that is, for me, is quite sad about modern society, is that you can, and people maybe see me sometimes, I post videos on other people's channels and stuff like that, but I never try and insult anybody, or I never try and make personal attacks or anything like that, because I just think that's petty. And I think that if you make personal attacks and insult people, like, you've lost the argument. That's the way that I see it. If someone starts attacking me personally, in a YouTube's comment on Twitter, I don't engage anymore, because for me, they've lost the argument anyway. They're just doing it to make themselves feel better. But it's sad that we are in a culture where you can't actually have a nuanced debate, where you actually respect each other's opinions, and you have to almost be in one side. We're very, very polarized. So I believe that, and I think Chainsaw knows, I wanted to create this other channel called Balance, where I try and give a balanced perspective and look at different sides of things and react to sort of controversial YouTubers. Maybe Mr. Tate might be one of them, but try and give a balance. So say, you're a bit off here, but you're fairly right here. Because at the end of the day, there is such a thing as nuance. I think most people actually live in the grey area of life, to be honest. Just because you agree with, and it's also one of the most annoying things I hate as well, where, like, you can agree with something that someone says, but then suddenly it means that you support that everything that person is. It drives me nuts. Like, there might be something that Trump might say, even though I don't know, I can't stand the guy, but he might say something like, yeah, fair enough, and then suddenly everyone's like, you're this, because you agree with this particular thing, that also means you're this, and this. It's stupid. But that's the society right now. Ravi, shout out Ravi Beckler, big up, man. Thanks, buddy. Please subscribe to Med Marvel. Yes, please. Please subscribe to Med Marvel if you haven't already. I'll be sub to your channel for Maisie. Thank you, Ravi. Really appreciate it. And for those, make sure you check out Maisie's channel as well. Actually, I should be on as well. I must have multiple situations. RDS, will you do deep dives on topics on minimum if that channel is more entertainment? I think more channels with your work might be a bit too much. That's fair. I think I might. It's just that the way that Red Marvel's designed, I think the thing about Red Marvel is that I almost want to. We'll see. I almost want to keep it kind of more like light-hearted, like, more. I still want to be more light-hearted. So almost the tone and the theme of the channel, I still want to keep it kind of still light-hearted-y. But I guess maybe if it's in the realms of entertainment, then it could work. So, like you said, topics like, for example, the way that anime artists are not paid particularly well, stuff like that, then I think that's fair. But if it's going into like philosophical, societal-based sort of stuff, then I think that might be one for another channel. That's my point anyway. Population gaps only happen because of the washing laws in the Western world, plus wouldn't work out now. What do I think about that? I agree and I agree and disagree at the same time. Simply because the birth rates are declining, even in what I would call more pro anti-abortion countries, and I think that you're right in that. I think that women's long hours and people working longer in general, I think has definitely contributed to it. I would also probably add one of the biggest factors actually that the cost of living actually, like inflation is a lot. You got to bear in mind that in the 70s you could survive. A single man could survive easily one income, and a janitor could take care of a family in the States on one income, and it'll be fine. Now that's not impossible. So is it because of the work? Yeah, but I think one of the biggest factors is actually sheer amount of inflation that we have now compared to the past. One income is just not enough to sustain, unless you're in the top 10% of earners. It's just not enough to sustain a family anymore and look after children. So the cost of living globally has gone really, really high. So whether you're in Africa, Asia, South America, etc., the cost of actually providing, and obviously parents naturally want their children to have a better life than they do. So how do you provide a better life for your children if you're having 10? It's difficult. So naturally people go, well, I did 4, 5, etc. So obviously the use of obviously contraception in that respect, I would say, is because this has contributed to that. But what I'm saying is that even though contraception, maybe abortion might play into it, the actual origin of it is probably the rising cost of living and the rise in the cost globally. Because if things were cheap, if education, if housing and all these things were cheap and stuff like that, if you didn't have to work 40 plus hours to make that sort of stuff like that, I generally think people would have more children. I can. School is free, it's good quality, things are free. You can I think generally think people would, and on top of that, people live with their families and had house help. I generally think people would have more children because you wouldn't have the stress of looking after them by yourself, and you wouldn't have the stress of finances on top of that as well. So at least that's my 2 cents anyway. Always have multiple plans. Exactly. You want to take care of the people who are maybe more vulnerable. Since COVID, I've noticed that there's been more people who have become homeless, turned to survive. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's for me. That's what's the right thing to do. But then, at the same time, I'd say you also got to think about the practicality. If there are more people that are elderly than there are people that are younger, then who are the people that are going to take care of them? There just won't be the numbers. We're having to, in the UK, we're having to sort of, rely on immigration to take care of people, to take care of locals, because there just aren't enough people at the bottom, or some of the local people at the bottom are emigrating. So that's the big problem at the end of the day. Culture divide in the world seems to be getting more divided online, but in real life people are calm. Exactly. Don't spend too much time online debating and hating and stuff like that. Bring about positiveness. Could we do another podcast soon? Yeah, exactly. I do. Maybe in the weekend. Maybe on Sunday. I should have a bit of time. Abortion rates don't necessarily mean more birth rate. There is states going to have less abortions, correct on it. But yeah, that's essentially what I was saying. That was my argument. Yeah, it might contribute to it, but the root cause, I think, is more to do with the rising cost of living. Personally, if you look at, for example, the plans in Japan and Korea, a lot of it is due to, I think anyway, the cost of living, and also the way that we handle work. At least that's what I think anyway. Inflation and the banks need to form. Banking definitely needs to absolutely. Whether it will or not, it probably won't, though. Let's be real. But RDS thing is more wealthy people having less kids compared to the poor. Elon must break it down. Yes, you're right. You're right. But how can I put it this way? That is the case in a maybe more of a socialist system, I would say. I don't know, maybe the social systems. I don't want to go into socialist, but I think that okay, two things. I think the one, you're right and you're wrong. You're right in the sense that you're right. Yes, in certain countries, not all, but certain countries, there are poor people that tend to have more kids than young. But what I would say we're wrong is that one, it's not all, in quote, poor people. A lot of poor people still don't. Hence why because if you look at the average birth rates, because they're going to be more, in quote, poor people than wealthier people, just based on numbers. So if you look at the birth rate, the average is still around about replacement of 2. So that means that the reality is that most poor people are still having, 2, maximum maybe 3 children, rarely 4 or 5, and that's still lower than previous generations, much lower than previous generations. So it's still not enough. Is basically the point I'm trying to make. You're fantastic for Fancast. Oh, so you mean as in who I'd want to be in the Fantastic Four? Jeez, oh, that's tough, man. Who would my ideal Fantastic Four group be? Oh, it's midnight now. I'm gonna have to bounce in a second. I'm only going for 2 hours. Who would my ideal Fantastic Four cast be? I don't know. That's tough. That is tough. Oh man, it's really, really Mega. That's put me in for it, because I'm just thinking actor wise, like who's not doing MCU stuff right now. We have let me just see. Let me see. Hate these ads. I'm just having a. Yeah, John. Yeah, obviously John Krasinski played Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness. Maybe he could be a good Reed, and he does look like Reed. But like, maybe it was the script. But I mean, he was dumb. Like, he was really, really, really dumb. Really dumb. I think to be honest, that whole period timeline thing was very, very dumb. I didn't quite understand it, to be honest. So yeah, he probably could do it if the script is better, but I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Who'd be the Invisible Woman? I know Emily Blunt is John Krasinski's wife. I know people want her. And she's a good actor. So maybe. Human Torch. if what's his name hadn't been doing Killmonger, I'd actually wanted him back. Actually, as Human Torch, it was the best thing about that Fantastic Four movie. Thingy, but he's obviously Killmonger in the MCU, so he can't do that. Maybe Zach. I was gonna say maybe Zac Efron, Harry Styles. Could they pull it off? But Harry Styles isn't tall enough. Possibly maybe Chris Hemsworth's brother, like Liam Hemsworth. Maybe could he pull it off? Maybe. As far as the thing is actually easier. Yeah, these three, like, so John Cena, because John Cena played what's his name, that DC hero Peacemaker, and he was good in that. So John Cena. Channing Tatum, I know he's been linked with Gambit and stuff like that. He's still got to make his cameo in the MCU, so maybe he could do it. And then John Bernthal, who played the Punisher. Now that's assuming that he doesn't come. If he plays the Punisher again, just exclude it. So it'll be Channing Tatum and John Cena. Yeah, actually stick to Channing Tatum and John Cena. That's what I think. Let's have a look. I'll round this up now. Japan and work people just like tonight. It is poorly managed from top to bottom. Let's go this to 32K. Yes, please, guys. Yes, please. I'm only a few subscribers away from 32K, guys. It'd mean a lot if you could share it, subscribe, and like it. Go a long way. Great show as RDS, but this is a Q&A performance just unlocked. Thanks, buddy. Can't believe United tried for years to unlock pop-up but failed. Let's not go there, Haitian. Let's end well. Let's end well. Guys, thanks so much for joining the Q&A. As you can see, got my Captain America top on. If you're YouTube channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio, also on Twitter, at WeUnitedX. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.